Hi everybody, my name is Jim and welcome back to another episode of The Lake Effect Gardener. Melons, melons, melons. That is the video du jour. If you guys remember my May tour, if you had watched it, I did already plant my melons into the ground. Okay, this is for the hashtag Transatlantic Melon Challenge. So I planted out 2 sugar babies, watermelons, and 2 Minnesota midget cantaloupe melons. And I showed you where those were. They're in the same bed as the zucchini and the summer squash, okay, growing right next to the cold frame. Those were planted in kind of in the frenzy of trying to get everything in the ground. Now, I had a couple people comment that they weren't sure if we were going to be doing a official video of planting in the melons. I don't think that was in the original plan. I don't think it was. I think it was going to be like, get them in the ground when you can get them in the ground situation. But never mind. Jane just got her melons in the ground. Okay, Jane Kelly. And so I thought it would be good to give you guys a bit of an update. Along with that, even though I've got melons in the ground, I actually still have 2 more sugar baby seedlings that I need to plant in. And the idea was that I was going to be saving those to put inside of my big self-watering planters, and they were going to go in the tunnel. So that's what this video is going to be me doing. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. Just as a trial right now. The ones that are in the bed, you guys will see, are already pretty well established and they're kind of doing their thing. These are going to be much smaller, but I'll be interested to see if they can catch up with the ones outside, because they will be going in the tunnel and they will be in a different growing, I'm not going to say growing medium, but a growing situation. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I just have to share something with you guys because I think it is the most amazing thing ever. I love it. I love it. And it's something that's going to be a part of my garden forever and ever and ever. My mother found this. She hands me this box and she's like, oh, you know, it's just for your garden. So she hands me this box and I open it up. And there's all sorts of, you know, bubble wrap and stuff like that. And it's like a decorative garden stone, okay? Make your mama proud. I love this. I absolutely adore it. And this is going to be going, I think I'm going to put this right here next to my shed along where I had planted seeds that she had gotten me. I think she'd put them in my Easter basket or something like that. So not only did she do that, but she also put this little message on the back. Okay. I love that she wrote XOXOX, yo mama. Now, she wrote this in Sharpie, and I know from the past with writing things in Sharpie in the garden is that it tends to come off after a while. I do not want this lovely message to come off in her handwriting. I do not want this to come off. So what I did is I went and bought myself some epoxy. Okay, I was looking at shellacs and things like that, and I'm thinking, you know, shellac sprays to cover it, those tend to wear out after a while. I don't want that. This is going to be sitting on the soil. There's going to be moisture, etc., etc. So I got this clear epoxy, okay, and I'm going to mix this up and I'm going to spread it on the bottom, okay, and epoxy is just impossible to destruct. So I will have this completely preserved forever and ever and ever. And that's really, really important to me. So I'm not going to do that on camera, but you know, I just wanted to show you this lovely gift from Mom. Thank you so much. I adore it. It's gonna look fab in my garden. Okay, so let's go out into the garden, and I'm just gonna give you an update on how my melons are currently doing over the ones that I planted in, okay? Let's go. All right, here we go. I just have to show you how ridiculously large my summer squashes are. I'm so excited. If you guys remember last year, they were so piddly. I'm so pleased about this. I really am. And there are lots of, I know this is not why we're here, folks, but I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Let's get down in there. Oh, yeah. Check that baby out. Really, really excited. Anyways, this is why we're here. Okay. So you can see on the right-hand side, this is the sugar baby. And like I had said in my May tour, I'm going to be training these to go along this cold frame kind of trellising, okay? It's doing that on its own already, which I'm pleased about. I'm really, really hoping that over here, the Minnesota midget, which is just to the left of it, will do the same. There are several vines, and there's more that keep appearing, okay? So I'm gonna try to train as many as I can upwards to see if they'll do that. If not, I had said I was gonna let these babies kind of just trail, which is fine. But this is getting pretty long. I would say this vine on the watermelon, sorry. There we go. This vine on the watermelon is probably a good 3 feet long now, 3.5 feet long. I can't remember if we are doing the longest vine for this one or the biggest melon. I think watermelon is the biggest melon, and I think the Minnesota midget is how many we actually get off the plant. So I'm seeing lots of flowers, Jane, lots and lots of flowers. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we're over here by the compost pile / polytunnel entrance here, but I just wanted to show you, this is what I'm going to be growing the rest of my melons in, okay? And this is a system that my father gave to me, and if you recall, over by the eggplant sweet corn bed, I had about 5 of these kind of terraced, okay? But this is what it looks like when it's completely taken apart. So I've got this bottom tray, all right? And then I've got the actual vessel portion, okay? And if you notice, there's these holes here, okay? So how this works is you come with these little vents, all right? And the vents will go on either side, just like this, okay? And then what happens is the top will go on top of here, okay? The soil will go inside the top and will go through these little holes and into these reservoirs, okay? And these little vents here with the kind of the slits through them allows the water that's sitting in this bottom reservoir to soak the soil that's in here, okay? Thus creating a tapping system. And what's gonna happen is I give it a good water, got this filled up, okay? The water sitting in the soil, it starts to wick the moisture upwards so that these planters up top, which I gotta make sure I'm doing this right, okay? There we go. Okay, and with all the holes on the bottom, all right, will wick moisture up into the compost, thus not having to worry about watering. And it's really ideal, I feel, because watermelons in general, any kind of melon that you're growing, really, really needs water, okay? Same goes with squash. So this would be really great for, say, pumpkins or something like that, okay? On top of that, I'm going to be using really, really nice compost, okay? Compost that's free draining, okay, but has a lot of nutrients. Even though this is going to be staying moist, I like the idea of the wicking action, because the watering will then be regulated, okay? So as the plants grow and their root systems fan out more and more, they're going to take more moisture, okay? And all I need to do is stick the hose in here and fill up the reservoir. So I could go perhaps a week without having to water the melons, which is really, really nice, okay? So, and you can see these are aching to get out. Very, very much so. Now, this isn't the only type of melon that I'm going to be growing in here. Along with that, I have chitted bitter gourd or bitter melon. And I was talking about this in one of my other videos. This is great for Southeast Asian, you know, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi cuisine, okay? So I've never had a good time of having these germinate for me. So I did the old paper towel and the plastic bag chit, and lo and behold, look at that, okay? So I'm gonna put 2 in here, just 2, and then the other, let's see, 1, I think. Yeah, the other 1 that I have in here, I'm gonna gift to somebody. So, all right, so I'm gonna swing you around and I'm going to show you exactly how what I'm gonna do with this soil and how I'm gonna plant it in. So I got this topped off. It's a little bit chunky. So I'm just gonna take my little garden claw here, break it up a little bit. You wanna make sure that soil goes into those reservoirs. A little tutorial on something that you'll probably never own. Or, you know, if you're interested, go ahead and do it. All right. What's nice about this soil is that it is pretty moist already. Now, it says, you know, flower and vegetable garden soil with fertilizer. I'm trying to see what the percentages are here. Let me just take a quickie look what we got here. Yes, so their idea of added nutrients are 0.05, 0.04, 0.03. Okay, that's your NPK. That's your nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. No, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Anyways, I think that's right. Which isn't a whole heck of a lot, okay? These are greedy, greedy little plants. So I want to make sure that they get enough nutrients to last them throughout the season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these fertilizer pellets, and I like what we got here. What do we got here? This is a 4-4-4, okay? So you know, this stuff borderline smells like chocolate. It's weird, but not good chocolate. It smells like Hershey's. Sorry, not a fan of Hershey's chocolate. I think it's kind of nasty. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just going to mix that in. I want these melons to have a really, really, really good start. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Super. Now I'm just going to take the melons. There's a really nice root system on them. And I don't think I am even going to separate these, to tell you the truth. I'm concerned. Well, let me see. Oh, I take that back. All right, wonderful. So I'm going to plant the first one in as close as I can to the edge. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the other one. Now I'm going to be training them up. Okay, I want them to kind of grow similarly to where they're growing in the garden. I want to grow them upwards into the tunnel, get them off the floor. Okay. All right, that's perfect. We already have flowers on this one. Now the other thing I need to plant are the 2 bitter gourd or bitter melon. All right, let me show you what these look like. Come on. Pretty decent roots for just the tiny little seedling. All right. Now I want the true leaves to be up, but I also want the seed leaves to be above the soil line. Okay. So I'm just going to carefully, is that a rock? Ooh. I was watching Jane's pollinators video the other day. And when I threw that rock, I'm reminded of dear Jane when she took her, was it a calendula seedling that she had pulled from from right next to her polytunnel. She pulls it out, okay? Perfectly good rootstock on it, might I add. And she went, and then she managed to say that I'd be really, really disappointed in her. Oh, I had a good laugh over that. Okay. Now, the bitter gourd does not look like much of anything. That's okay. Now that it's got its own growing medium that's not water and a paper towel, hopefully these puppies will take off. Now that's all I'm going to put in this planter, okay? I do have to move this into the polytunnel, and I need to give it a water once it's there, okay? I would suggest that you don't, if you were doing this outside of an area in which you're going to put it for its like forever, its seasonal place, that you don't fill the reservoir up with water and then attempt to carry it. Unfortunately, I speak from experience, not one of my brighter moments. Anyways, so this will go in the tunnel, and then there are 4 vines in here. I'm going to train them up and over in the tunnel. So I'm really excited to see how this goes, not only from the standpoint of how many or how big the melons will get, okay, melons, but how long we'll get as well. So that is my official entry into the hashtag transatlantic melon planting. You could see them in their official final resting place. All right, let's go back into the shed. Hopefully when I finally get to my June tour, okay, which will be at the end of June, I will have everything all taken care of in the polytunnel, so you'll actually see, you know, what I'm going to rig to get these things to grow and where I'm going to be placing it. So that is yet to come. Still have just my afternoons out here unless it's the weekend, and of course if it's raining then obviously I can't do anything. But the good news is today is kind of the beginning of the end. today was the last day that we had kids at school, so yay! Which means now we have 5 more days. Without kids, we're going to be closing up our classrooms, getting everything cleared and cleaned up, getting things prepared for September. But the next time you see me, I will officially be on 11 weeks of summer vacation, which I'm thrilled about. So that's it for me. This was kind of a short one in comparison to my others, I think. Of course, I say that and then I edit it and it's, 2 hours long. But I'm going to continue, keeping my nose to the grindstone, getting that polytunnel taken care of. I can tell you that I have removed the tables. I have moved a lot of the empty pots and stuff like that. There's still one table that's in there housing some of my plants. I'm just kind of letting it chill there for a while, but I'm just beginning to start to build the infrastructure in there. So the raised beds and et cetera, et cetera. So the cardboard's down. I'm going to just start filling it up with compost, and I've already got a bunch of bags, so I might be able to get half of one side done probably tomorrow, which would be wonderful. And then hopefully by the next time we see each other, I will be doing a video planting in it, okay? And there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the garden right now as things begin to grow and things begin to kind of reveal themselves. I'm noticing a lot of very interesting and somewhat exciting, a little overwhelming, but that'll be left for next video. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, leave your comments, and don't forget, make your mama proud. See you all really, really soon. So long.